Well, that's me back on the local river again, and the glass I'm talking about is my Vision 7.5 foot 5 weight. It's a lovely rod and well suited to a small river like this. So let's see if we can find some nice water to fish and hopefully even a rising fish or two, who knows. Well, this is the first time I've been on this part of the river since before the big May floods. So it'll be interesting to see how access has changed and see if the floods have reshaped the river in any way. So let's go and have a look. So I'm going to start off fishing with 2 dry flies. A visible elk hair, black elk hair caddis on the tail, and a small sort of grizzly hackled, having a bit like a Griffith's gnat almost on the dropper, a really small one, about 16 or an 18. So we'll give that a go and see what happens. I've mentioned previously the thing that really drove me mad about this Vision Glass Trout, it had no keeper ring. So yesterday I put my own one on. I cut an old one off an old rod and whipped it and varnished it. I mean, it's not exactly a work of art, but it doesn't matter because I'll never be selling this rod and it's functional. And hopefully it'll make the whole thing a little less of a hassle. Keeper ring's one of these things you don't actually need, but when you've been used to having them for 40 years, suddenly not having them is a bit of a pain. Now I noticed there are cows in this field that was empty the last few times I was here. So what does that mean? Well, it means these electric fences will be on. So I'm going to have to watch when I cross those. Straddle them very, very carefully. So if you hear an almighty scream, you'll know what's happened. Well, before I cross the electric fence, I'll have a go in this pool here. Having said that, I don't know if it's going to be worth fishing because a mallard and our family just swam through. There must have been about, looked like it was at least a dozen ducklings, but they didn't make too much noise or cause too much disturbance. So we'll have a few casts in here anyway and see what happens. It's just amazing how this place has changed since I was last here. How dark it is now that all the leaves are on the trees and everything. Quite incredible. It's like a different place altogether. Some of you who watched my earlier videos might recognise this spot. I took a good few fish out of this pool here way back in April. Whoa! Now I think this is taking the Griffith's gnat-like fly. Yep, it has. I can see the elk hair caddis trailing behind it. Right, come on fish. It's also mangled in the leader of the things. And that's it gone. That was an easy release now. Excellent. Right, what's the leader damage? Yeah, that wasn't too bad a fish. 9 inches, something like that, 10 inches maybe at a push. Not too bad a tangle either. I managed to get it out quite easily. Just about directly across the stream from me, a fish just rose where I was taking the tangle out. I just throw a couple of flies over it and see what happens. Incidentally, it's an absolutely stunning day. Warm but not too hot. It's about 17 or 18 degrees and no wind, which is super. Well, I say no wind, very light wind. The minute I said no wind, the wind got up. But it's upstream. The river's still falling fast, although it did go up a few inches a few days ago with some heavy rain overnight midweek. And the river did rise, but it's fallen away just as quickly. But at least it's another one. Oh, and it's away. Yeah, I was just saying before I was so rudely interrupted. At least it's watered the fields, so the irrigation seems to have stopped again, which is good. I'm not sure which fly that last fish took. I think it was the elk hair caddis actually. I've got a slightly different setup on the camera today. Instead of clipping it to the rucksack strap, I've got it on a chest harness, and that seems to be working okay. We just got to try all these things and see what works best for you. This wee glass rod really is ideal for this river. It's an absolute delight to cast. I think I may have spooked everything in the pool now. That's a few fish I've made contact with. So I'll maybe go downstream a bit, see if I can get over that electric fence without castrating myself. And that will rest this pool again on the way up. I was actually going to fish the bridge pool first, which is further upstream. Just as I arrived at that, there was another family of damned mallards in that one. This is Mallardsville. It's great to see them. I'm a real bird lover. I really enjoy seeing them, but there's no denying they definitely disrupt the fishing. A few casts in that wee pocket over there, behind that white stone. Let's see if we can get cast enough slack line to get a drag-free drift. Try the bottom of it first. I thought there might be a fish in there. Perhaps not. Well, having said that, one just rose, not to me, but a fish definitely just rose there. See, these flies are probably dragging. Try a reach cast. Go over a bit. Get more directly down to it. That fish just rose again, so it's dead keen. I'll have a bit of a tangle to sort out there. Let's see if we can have another go and see if this fish is still keen. the one that was rising in here. I think I've probably spooked it. No, I think I've probably spooked anything that was willing in there. A few casts up this edge here. It's really difficult to see what I'm doing here. This one just rose there, but I think they're just tiny things. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's on this Griffiths knot type thing again. I really must find out what that fly's called. It's just something I knocked up. Yeah, it's not too bad a fish. And that's it gone. Right, that was a bit unexpected. I think this pool will be spooked now, but I'll have another few casts anyway and see what happens. Right, I'll see if I can negotiate this electric fence. Stand by for screams. Well, I managed to get over the electric fence unscathed. I've just noticed a couple of fish arising in this slack water here. Whether I'll get a fly over them without putting them down is the first question, and the second question is how big are they? I don't think they're very big, but sometimes it can be deceptive. It's so difficult to see. I've really no idea where my flies are. I'm just going to have to react to anything I see on the water, any disturbance. Well, nothing risen for a few minutes now. Oh, I speak too soon. They're not very big. I think they're diddlers, actually. Bloody hell. Yeah, I've messed that one up as well. No, I think I've spooked everything in here. That was 2 chances I had and I screwed both of them up. Yeah, I think I just saw a fish rise straight in front of me here. I think I spotted a fish just rising across there. Just dimpled the surface. Quite hard to see. And that was a wee one. It was a bit further up. Quite a lot of fish rising actually. Like that one I've just missed. Go. And it's off. Long distance release. This water here is probably a touch on the shallow side, but I'll have a few casts in it anyway. You just never know. Right, start working my way back up again. See if we can get across the electric fence. I'll fish that pool that I've started, and I don't know if it's had long enough to rest yet. But we'll give it a couple of passing casts anyway and see how we get on. But first I've got to get over the dreaded electric fence. I used to go fishing quite regularly in the winter time down in New Zealand, February and March. And the Maori name for New Zealand translates to something like the land of the long white cloud. My mate Alec and I call it the land of the long electric fence Because boy, if you want to see deployment electric fences on a grand scale, go to New Zealand. It is quite remarkable, quite incredible. But we love the place, absolutely love it. Fantastic country. But that was all in the pre-COVID days, and frankly I can't see us ever managing to get back there again. By the time we're able to travel, I think both of us will be too old. When you're young and fit, the journey is just awful. It's just 30 odd hours continuous travelling. When you're old and decrepit, it's not so much awful as impossible. But hell, you never know. We'll just have to wait and see. Right, that's me back to the starting point again. But we'll just have a few casts in here and then work upstream, because I don't know if I've given this pool a long enough rest, to be honest. Well, no joy in here at the moment, but I'm not really surprised. A few casts here and then move upstream a bit. It might be worth just a cast in where that current's coming down that edge there. Well, that was a fish just rose there, but that wasn't to my fly. There's another one just rose a bit further up. So difficult to get the distance right. That was inevitable, that was going to happen. So I won't be getting anything in here now. It's a long way up this glide to get to the faster water at the top. But I did see a fish rise up there, even in that distance. But again, I don't think it was a very big one. Do a lot of wading in this river at this time of the year, because unless you've got a machete with you, most of the banks are pretty much impenetrable by now. They're up to about head height. Some of these grasses and reeds are up to head height now. But worse than that, you can't see where you're putting your feet. You could be stepping into a pothole or tripping over a boulder, and you would never know. I think this is where I saw the fish rise. But my goodness, it's hot. Roasting. Not when I missed it. Goodness me. Miss that one, not. Just a wee one. That's off. That's good. That saves you handling them. I can see fish scooting around at my feet. I guess I must be spooking them, careering around the pool. So no point in fishing here much longer. I don't know if you can see that. There's a huge shoal of minnows here. Absolutely massive shoal. There must be thousands in that shoal. Kind of begs the question is why are the fish, the trout in here not huge if they've got those to feed on? My goodness me. Quite incredible. And it's the same over the whole river. You wade in the shallows and there's just minnows everywhere. Vast shoals of them. So just a wildflower garden here. Forget-me-nots. I think the yellow stuff's mimulus, which is a garden escapee. Yeah, that's what it is. Monkey flower, I think it's its common name. South American plant. a long way from home. We'll have a few casts in here. Don't know much depth I've got. This used to be a good spot, but the floods last winter sort of resculptured it a bit. There's a few fish rising in this run out, this tail out in this pool here. But I've got a feeling as soon as I cast them I'm going to spook them. But we'll try anyway. I can't see my flies, which doesn't help. That's a problem when you can't see the flies for the glare. You don't know if the fish, you see a rise, you can't really tell if it's to you or not. But we've got the bridge pool coming up. It's usually a banker for a fish. Famous last words. See, that wasn't to me either. Oh, that was though. And so was that one. That was good. Yeah, it's not too bad a fish. Quite difficult water as well. I'm quite pleased with that one. Back you go. That strange fly again. It's actually something that I just knocked up myself. It's either cree or grizzle hackle. I can never remember which one's which. Some of those fibres for the tails, the same hackles you use for an Adams. And pheasant tail herl at the body and a bit of gold wire just to keep it all together. And then hackled up and trimmed underneath so it sits really flat in the water. It's a very effective fly and very, very simple to tie. You can knock them up in minutes. I don't like complicated flies. Well, I just dried off and redressed the flies, but the rice seems to have petered out in this pool. I don't think I spooked him. Having said that, there's one just rose away up there, but I'm going to move up a bit anyway, up towards the bridge pool, which has reliably let me down this season for some reason. A lot of my banker spots just haven't done it this year. Hopefully we can rectify that today. Well, I just discovered my GoPro crashed again. Totally locked up, had to take the battery out to get it to reset. And lo and behold, there was me fishing away, thinking I was filming the landing that beautiful 2-pound brownie, wild brownie, and I didn't manage to capture it. And if you believe that, you'll believe anything. I feel there's a bit of change in the weather coming actually. It's dulling down and it's incredibly humid. So maybe a thunderstorm on the way. We shall see. I won't be fishing much longer anyway. I'll fish here and then the next pool around the corner, and that'll do me for today. So let's give it a go in here and see how we go on. So I don't know what's causing that GoPro to crash, but that's twice it's happened now, and both times it's been during really hot weather. I wonder if it's overheating. I don't know. This is a good nymphing on this, but it's not so easy to fish with a dry fly. See, fish will be lying across there. Holy moly! What's another family of ducks? My girl was a heart attack there. Looks like the mallards are having a good breeding season. Right, quick shot around here and then call it a day, I think. What's that? Yet another family of ducks just skated at the top of this pool here, but I'm kind of hoping they haven't spooked everything. There's a few fish rising here, but by the look of them, they're not very big. If the water you're fishing in has just got Morris fish, then if that's what you're going to catch, Morris fish, it's something you shouldn't get too hung up on. I've had some good fish out of this pool, especially up at the head of it, on really heavy, deeply sunk nymphs, and on dry fly when it's been almost dark in midsummer. Fishing with a huge sedge pattern and taking a couple of real nice fish out of water that 2 hours before you would have sworn there wasn't a fish in it. Yeah, that wind's getting up now and it's certainly beginning to cool down. I feel like there's a change of weather on the way. But maybe my GoPro won't crash. I don't think either of these two fish were for me. Well, the visibility was bad before and now it's dire. Well, I can hear buzzards mewing, but I can't see them. Oh, there they are above the house over there. Quite a lot of raptors in this area. I've even seen the osprey fishing in this actual bit here. There was a common sandpiper just came out the vegetation at the side. Cold wind, and the wind actually does feel cold now. It just seems to have killed it stone dead. Amazing how quickly things can change. The farmer used to keep a herd of prize Shallery bulls in here. I can't see them today, but they were docile enough. Famous last words. I can't see any today. And by the look of the length of the grass, there hasn't been a lot of grazing going on, so there must be somewhere else. Oh, a rose one there. But unfortunately, I can't see what I'm doing. Absolutely zero visibility on the water now. My flies could be anywhere. There are no Polaroids in the world that are going to take that amount of glare off the water. Well, I'm fishing completely blind here now. So I'm going to use it as an excuse to pack up and close the video. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll get out again soon, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.